this morning's Business Insight. July, all about music in Cincinnati, not just because of the World Choir Games, but also the brand new Bunbury Music Festival. It opens this Friday, July 13th, runs through Sunday, the 15th on Cincinnati's riverfront. As many as 60,000 people are expected to be there. The festival cost about $2.8 million to produce. Ticket prices range from $46 to $93. The man behind this festival says it's a lot like running any small business. Bill Donabedian, former managing director of Fountain Square, is the man responsible for bringing Bunbury to Cincinnati, and he is joining Business Courier publisher Jamie Smith in our studio with more about the festival. Jamie and Bill.
Thanks, Brian. Welcome to the studio, Bill.
Thanks for having me, Jamie.
So how does one go from managing Fountain Square to inventing and running a $2.8 million music festival?
Well, you know, Fountain Square was just a lot of little events. With some big events like the Light Up the Square event was a pretty big event to actually produce. So you can grow a festival like this over time, but I really just wanted to come out and do it right and do it big and take advantage of the park. It's a great park, beautiful views. I think, you know, you can see the city, you can see the river. I think people are going to really enjoy themselves.
And you've been planning this for over a year. How did it come about?
Well, actually, it's been a couple of years. I mean, in 2009, I actually said, I'm going to do this, and started researching it. And in 2010, started working on the whole permit process, and then did my kickoff in 2011. So I took my time, and it was evenings and weekends, and it finally started to come together in 2011, and now it's here.
I guess going through some of the small festivals and things you did at the Fountain, I guess that helped you get through some of the red tape and learning how to maneuver that, the cities, the governments, anything, permits.
You know, it's not too difficult to do an event. There are a lot of permits and procedures to follow if you know what they are. And I think that's the difference. It's not that there are a lot of roadblocks. You just have to know your way around. And I definitely got a lesson in that while working at Fountain Square for so many years.
It's a lot easier to follow the rules when you know the rules,
exactly.
Right? Tell me a little bit, I'm assuming festivals and events like these depend a lot on sponsorships. Is that true with this?
Yeah. You know, sponsorships were okay. I knew they would be a little tough this year because of the climate, economic climate. There's a World Choir Games, a lot of sponsorship there. But really, ticket sales are your bread and butter. That's the most important thing. And then followed most likely by beverage sales, and then sponsorship. So I knew going into this year I wasn't going to depend a lot on it. But it's always nice when you can have plenty of it.
Now, you also mentioned in an article in the Courier that ticket sales, so much of that happens at the end. Is that's the case, right?
Yeah, I mean, we're doing great with ticket sales. Very pleased, but you do get the week of is your big time.
Yeah. And one other thing I wanted to ask you, I read that you are looking at founding a nonprofit with some of the sponsorships of this, or with some of the results of this. Tell me that.
Well, I've always thought it would be great to have a music commission, one less industry-focused, like in other cities, and more artist-focused. So if you are an up-and-coming musician, it would be a place for you to seek legal advice, maybe help with insurance, continuing education, even grants for touring and recording. I really want to foster that music scene. Kind of something I was doing with Midpoint years ago. I'm just trying to bring that all together.
Well, that sounds like a great idea. Thanks for being on the show, and I look forward to seeing the festival next week.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks.